What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update and a few bits of transfer bits to talk about today.
Give me some transfers, come on.
But first and foremost, we're not going to talk about transfers. We're going to talk about Wilson Odor. He has been named as one of the 25 finalists for the 2024 Golden Boy Award. And if you don't know, the Golden Boy is an award put forward by journalists, and they put forward the 25 most impressive under-21 players throughout Europe throughout the calendar year. So it's very interesting. Some say it's quite a prestigious award for a young player to win. And let me just name you some of the players that have been nominated or that have got to the final. It's Lamine Yamal, João Neves, Warren Zaire-Emery, Alejandro Garnacho, Pau Cubarsí, Savio, Rico Lewis, Pavlovic, Kobe Mainoo, Jorel Hato of Ajax, Lenny Yoro, Bione Gittens of Borussia Dortmund, Kenan Yildiz, Juventus, Mosquera from Valencia, Adam Wharton, Arda Güler, Matthias Tell, Desiree Douillet, Oscar Gluck, Samuel Omorodion, Wilson Odobert, Andreas Schneiderlup, and Endrick from Real Madrid, Ben Seguir from Monaco, and Samuel Mamgula of Juventus. So some big names on there.
Yeah, massive. So he's obviously amongst a lot of very talented players. Don't think he's going to win it, unfortunately, because as Lamine Yamal, you said him.
Yeah,
he's probably the front runner at the moment. He's doing absolute bits. But obviously, it's really good to have Odobert get that recognition. Obviously, it shows what a talent we have. Obviously, if you look at some of the previous winners of the Golden Boy, it just shows, what an impressive achievement is, because you got Bellingham won it last year, Gavi and Pedri the 2 years before, Erling Haaland, João Felix, and Matthias de Ligt, Kylian Mbappe in 2017. So if you win this award, usually you're
going on to great things, basically.
There has been one Spurs player who's ever won the Golden Boy Award.
I'm trying to look on your screen to see who it is, but I can't see it.
No, he wasn't at Spurs when he won it.
One player that
has played for Tottenham.
He moved to Spurs after being nominated. That won it.
He won it in 2003, and he has went on to play for Spurs.
Wasn't Giovanni Dos Santos? Who was it?
Rafael van der Vaart.
Van der Vaart won it.
Van der Vaart won in 2003. There you go, a bit of trivia for you guys.
Yeah, but that's the list of winners there, just all of them, apart from you got João Felix, who obviously went for big money. You've got Matthias de Ligt as well, who's at Man United now, but he's been at some top clubs. But apart from those two, all the other players have become best players in the world, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So good for him to be amongst those.
I see Martial on
that. Forget Martial, Renato Sanchez. Went through a bit of a lull period.
Raheem Sterling won it.
Yeah, these obviously the winners. These aren't people just nominated. So I don't know if you could I can probably pull up a list of people nominated, and they probably turn out to be rubbish. But look, it's good for Odobert. Hopefully, it boosts his confidence, and I'm really excited to see him back on the pitch. Hopefully on Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to be, because they're saying he could be back in training this week. If he is back in training, I'd probably like to see a front three of Timo, Moore, and Richarlison.
Never thought he'd say that.
I know. Timo, Moore, and Richarlison with Odobert coming off the bench, I think.
Yeah, I just think Odobert had such an exciting start. Obviously, you can still see he's a bit raw, but you can still see a lot of talent there, can't you, with him? So, excited to see him back on the pitch.
Now let's get into the transfers, and let's start off talking about Radu Dragusin. As Ryan Taylor Sports says, that Napoli are amongst a number of Italian clubs monitoring the situation of Radu Dragusin, but the player will not push him away for a move in January, despite his agent suggesting earlier in the year that his client would look to leave the club if he didn't become a regular in the team. Daily Mirror has also said that Dragusin has decided now not to want to leave. He doesn't want to leave, and he doesn't want to push for a move in January, and he wants to stay and fight for his place in Postecoglou's team. But look, you can get the source of frustration from Radu. He's come in at a time where we desperately needed him, and then as soon as he comes in, all the players start to come back. So limited game time there, and he's just been in and out the team, really. He's played the odd game here and there, never really had a constant run in the team. We have heard his agent talk many a time in the past. I'm quite surprised now his agent isn't piping up.
Well, to be fair, a part of it is his fault, because he got sent off in the Carabao games, has limited his minutes even more.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of games he's going to be able to prove that he can really challenge that first team spot. When he's come in the Premier League, he's been all right, to be fair. Obviously, Newcastle, he played well, but we lost. Back end of last season, came in for a little run of games and did quite well. But this season hasn't quite gone his way. I think as of yet, Coventry played wasn't that impressive. Obviously, as I said, Europa League got sent off, so he hasn't really played a game yet. So I can understand he's a bit frustrated. Came to Tottenham probably with the promise he would get a lot of game time, especially this season. Now we're in Europe, and hasn't quite panned out that way. Partly his fault, but. Look, it's still very early on the season, so I guess they'll reassess it in January. If he's really not playing at all until then I think they might look at it. But I'm pretty confident he's going to get a lot more game time between now and January.
Yeah, you'd assume he starts this Thursday night, and you probably assume would you say he starts the City game in the Cup?
I think he's got a good chance. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would probably say on Thursday night he probably partners with Ben Davis, and then in the City game he probably partners with Van der Ven. I
reckon in December he'll start some Premier League games.
Yeah, we've got a game like every 3 or 4 days throughout December. There's a lot of games.
So I reckon he'll get a couple of starts in the Premier League.
Yeah, I would assume so. But it's as well as good mentality to have, where he says he doesn't want to leave, he wants to stay and fight for a spot.
Yeah, it's good. Let's just hope. But I mean, I'm not saying it's easy to say now, but like he probably says that now. But then come January, I guess they'll reassess it.
Let's talk about potential incomings now. Gazzetta dello Sport are reporting that Spurs have identified Lecce teenage sensation Patrick Dorgu as a possible target. Spurs, to have said, been leading the race for the 19-year-old Danish international who has been linked with a move away to White Hart Lane since last summer. While the transfer couldn't take place last summer because Levy was unwilling to meet his €35 million valuation. But the expectations are that Spurs would pay up this time around. Dorgu did sign a new 1-year contract with his current employers last week. However, that is said to be one to protect his value, and it shouldn't stop Ange Postecoglou from getting the player in. So we've kind of heard about this guy doing the rounds, haven't we, for the past 12 months or since the summer window, really. I think he's started the season pretty well for Lecce. We all know that we need cover at that left back spot, so it kind of ticks a lot of boxes. Young player, up and coming. Yeah,
I'm looking just some of his data. He does seem to be a player who gets forward, gets into the penalty area, and obviously he's very brave on the ball. So it definitely seems the kind of profile we want in that position. We know how we like to get our fullbacks involved in attacking phases. Doggy's so good at that, and we do need a genuine alternative to him because I don't think anyone can really do the role Doggy can do. Van der Ven can do that role, but he'll do it very differently to a Doggy. Ben Davis, at this stage of his career, probably isn't up to doing that role. So getting someone in there is probably imperative. And I think a young player to compete with a Doggy would be probably be ideal.
Yeah, and when you look at it, when the summer comes, Ben Davis' contract is going to be up. We're not going to renew it. So a player in that position is going to be probably one of the priorities.
Wouldn't mind a signing a loan back until next season.
Or sign him in January and then loan back. Yeah.
I'd be surprised.
Next up, Tottenham are among the clubs eyeing up a move for La Liga breakout star Raul Moro, who has impressed with Real Valladolid. Still just only 21 years of age, the versatile forward has grabbed 2 goals and 2 assists and 1 assist this season. As per reports in Spain, his performances have caught the eye of Manchester City and Tottenham, with Guardiola's side one of the most enthusiastic clubs closely monitoring Raul, while Tottenham have also been keeping a close eye on the situation. Not a player that I can tell you that I've watched much of, but if Guardiola's keeping a keen eye on, then it's probably worth keeping a keen eye on as well.
Seems to be a player who's playing like the number 10 position, kind of one of those 8s.
Yeah, they likened him to Kulusevski in this update.
So, I mean, obviously we have Maddison, Bergval's coming through, Sarr's now being back on form, but I do think another kind of attacking player might be someone especially who can do the fundamentals off the ball. I think that's very key. I don't know if he's got the ability to do that, but another attacking player in that position, I mean, I can kind of understand the logic. We've got a lot of players in that position right now. I don't expect us to be spending big money on an attacking centre mid, but I always think looking to the future is not a bad thing. So I don't expect any deal for him in January or anything like that. Maybe in the summer, depending on how Maddison gets on for the rest of the season. Maybe we can look at him. But I think, Maddison's been playing well. I know he got taken off at half-time. But I still think he's got a big part to play for us. So
I think Maddison got taken off at half-time but still created more chances than anyone in the league this weekend, which is mad to think about.
Yeah, it's great, yeah. And that just goes to show the foresight of Ange to take him off.
Yeah. And last but not least, the Bleacher Report are reporting that Tottenham and Arsenal have both been scouting and are now showing an interest in the progress of Brighton's Carlos Baleba.
Yeah, he's been impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know where he would fit in for us because I don't think he's really a 6 unless he's can adapt his game. He plays kind of box to box for Brighton. Obviously scored a couple of goals I think already this season. Definitely one away at Chelsea he scored. A very high energy a player, one who I think gets a lot of tackles. Competes for a lot of duels. He's been an impressive start, and we know Brighton, with their scouting system, they've got the likes of Caicedo in, and they've gone on to gone for 100 million. So I'm sure Baleba's probably next in line, and I'm not surprised that a player doing well for Brighton that we're taking a look at because they've got great recruitment. So. I think he'd be a good addition. Whether he comes in as that number 6, though, and if he's not kind of coming in as number 6, is he coming for to take Kulusevski or Maddison's spot? I mean, remains to be seen.
Mm-hmm. It does say here that his natural position is a defensive midfielder, so maybe Brighton are playing him a bit further up the pitch. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure what he did at his previous club. He was at Lille last season, wasn't he? What was it? Yeah, in 2023, he went from Lille to Brighton for 27 million. So you'd think, like, if Spurs want Baleba, they're going to have to be playing through their nose.
I mean, they demanded 110 million for Caicedo. So if Baleba's hitting that kind of benchmark, that's the kind of money they're going to ask for him, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't know if he's as good as Caicedo, but Caicedo wasn't there for that long. Only 18 months he was at Brighton, and then all of a sudden it was 100 million. So. Brighton are very good at extracting big fees. That's for sure.
Exactly. So I can't really see, like, he did it with Bissouma, but Bissouma didn't command that big of a fee because he was in his last year of his contract. Baleba's got a contract till 2028, so
there's no chance of spending anywhere near like over 50 million for him. That's for sure.
That's the thing. So I see this one as pretty much a non-story, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, before we go, let's talk about these Brennan quotes that I found quite interesting. He's talking about him coming off social media and maybe the different positions he's taking up on the pitch as well, talking to Football London. First, on the social media situation, he said, it wasn't a massive issue in my head. I think it's been made out of quite a big thing. It was just a split decision in the moment when I thought, I'll just delete it. Which I have kind of done before. I've deleted the app, but this time I thought I'll just deactivate my account. But it wasn't a massive deal to me. I think naturally it can become a distraction, and everyone's probably guilty of scrolling too long and things like that. It wasn't anything too tactical, and it definitely wasn't to try and enhance and improve my game or add something different. It was just a personal decision I made instead. All the training and hard work never stopped throughout. It didn't change my approach, and as I always come in and try to do the best I can do here because I love this team. He might not. Do you reckon maybe like subconsciously it makes you try and train harder because you just don't have those distractions? I mean, you delete your social media. Do you think it's just a complete fluke that he goes on and scores 7 and 7 the next game?
I don't think it makes him try hard. I don't think he was a lack of trying that was a problem. I think maybe
focus.
Yeah, maybe focus, or maybe it was just a lot of things weighing on his mind. I think that's the way to put it. I don't think it was a case of now he's off social media, he can actually put work in to improving his game. I think he's always trying to do that. But maybe getting all that criticism, maybe getting all the pelters from fans and having that weigh on his mind, that can be a distraction. I don't think it's a case of him spending. I don't know what he's like in his free time or anything like that. But I don't think it's a case of he's not training properly because he's always scrolling on social media. He's a professional footballer. I think he's probably putting in the hard work, and he seems like the kind of character to me who is always looking to improve himself and always looking to. He's a very good professional. That's what it seems to me. Ange has always praised those aspects of his game. He's always wanted to be a guy looking to improve himself all the time. But maybe it was a case of those elements giving him a lack of confidence and weighing on his mind too much, and just deleting it, getting out of his mind, and just not seeing it every day. Maybe that can kind of get a weight off your shoulders a bit. Yeah,
because if you're completely kind of oblivious to it, there's nothing to react to. There's nothing to weigh on your mind. There's nothing to grab your focus elsewhere. You could see clearly in that Coventry game something had definitely grabbed his focus, and there was definitely something playing on his mind at the end of that game. There was no doubt about that. And ever since then, obviously, he's gone on a scoring run and he's become a key part of the team and everything like that. Maybe he should come back on social media because it'll probably boost his confidence.
Maybe, but I think for now he's got a good thing going. So don't break what isn't, don't fix what isn't broken at the moment. I would say, and he's on a great run. He's got so much confidence at the moment. You just saw against West Ham, even though he didn't score that shot he took from the edge of the area, like you just see the confidence flowing through him, and he nearly pulled it off as well, showing he's got quality there, and we know that. And it's just about him being able to just show it on the pitch. And
the other quote I've got for you goes, last season, most of my goals were kind of at the back post as we work a lot on crosses, and I always have it nailed in me to get there because I know there are goals to be had, like the one against Manchester United. I want to show a bit of everything, to be honest. I want to keep doing what I'm doing at the moment. Obviously, if I can keep building and adding extra parts to my game, then I'll do that. I've been working with the coaches here, and especially with Ryan Mason. He's been doing a lot of work with me on picking up positions in the different types of finishes, what kind of part of the foot I'm hitting with, and also dribbling and then shooting. So a lot of thanks must go to him because he's been helping me a lot with that. And
it shows.
Yeah, it does show because he is taking different shots. He's got a lot better in kind of just dribbling and then taking that snapshot into the far post, hasn't he? And maybe finding himself in better areas of the pitch. So all the work that's been going on the training ground, you can clearly see it on the pitch.
Yeah, because last season we said, didn't we, that he's obviously got a few goals, but they're all very similar, weren't they? They were very much arriving at the back post late, as he said, getting those tap-ins, which is not to be sniffed at because you've got to make the timing of the runs and everything. But some, as I was saying last season, some of the goals we saw at Forest, he showed he's got really good ability in front of goal and good finishing ability, and needs to show that. And I think he's showed a good variation of goals this season. The goal against United, back post. The goal against Brentford was one on the dribble, running and shooting. The goal against Karabakh, first time finished. The goal against Ferencvaros, was a congested penalty area, was able to manoeuvre a bit of space for the shot and curl it into the far corner. So he is showing a bit more variation, I feel, this season with some of the goals he's scoring. But it's also important that he still does those back post finishes as on top of that, because that's a really important part of how we play, and it's those are just easy goals. If you're just there, right place, right time, you're gonna. Raheem Sterling used to do it so often for Man City. It used to be like 10 goals a season for him, just arriving at the back post, and that's exactly what Johnson should try and emulate. And I think he's doing that as well. So he showed last season he's got the ability to get those timing the runs. He's shown this season he's got the ability to bring those better finishes to his game as well. And credit to Ryan Mason because. Obviously, a lot of people have been talking about him potentially getting another managerial job, and he's been given a lot of praise by Ange for his coaching ability, and he seems to be doing a lot of good stuff for Brennan. It's really good to hear Brennan talk about him. Yeah,
and there's also there's been a large section of the fan base that have used Ryan Mason as maybe just like a bit of he's been like the butt of all jokes at some point. And it's always been said that there's been kind of high hopes for Ryan Mason within and around the club, and the players obviously very liked him. Harry Kane, obviously they're friends, but he put him forward and he gave him his kind of vote for the manager's job when he got it at the time. And he was saying at the time, I remember that, a lot of the players love her working under Mason. So I think maybe fans are maybe a bit too quick to just laugh at Mason because he's come in as an interim a couple of times, and he's had kind of mixed success at doing that. But look, he's a young coach. He's getting praise in terms of being put in the conversation for taking big jobs like the Anderlecht job, and there's a big kind of good feeling with him with inside the club, thinking he can go far in the kind of coaching or managerial game. So I think he's doing great work there, and everyone seems to be singing his praises apart from the fans.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, good stuff.
All right, well, there you have it. That is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.